you want to see how to successfully refurbish a 75-year-old compass, stay tuned. Traditionally, British Army officers used the prismatic compass. These were good precision instruments. But at the beginning of World War II, materials were short. So the Mark I marching compass was designed and put into production. This compass was made of cheaper materials, but it was an excellent piece of equipment and can be bought for £20 upwards on eBay these days. Despite being made in wartime, in a hurry, it's a precision instrument that still works today. I was gifted a Mark I compass. It was accurate, it found north quickly, and settled down rapidly despite the fact that it wasn't oil filled. It was fit for purpose, apart from two things. The mirror was dim and difficult to be used to read the bearing, and the luminous parts were brown and didn't shine in the light. Although I don't do much night navigation, it's always handy to have luminous markers for low light conditions. On close examination, it was found that the mirror was held in place with 4 screws. These brass screws were easy to undo, allowing me to clean the mirror quickly and easily and not get any of the cleaning material on the Bakelite. Luckily, none of the brass screws were difficult to remove, so it was an easy job and no damage was done to the screws. Having cleaned the mirror and the housing, the mirror was screwed back into position. It was now time to look at the luminous parts of the system. The compass is cunningly simple in design, as is befitting a wartime piece of equipment. 4 screws hold in the retaining ring, the rubber washer, the glass window, and the compass bezel with the numbers marked on it. Once these were removed, the needle was available for examination and cleaning. I went on the internet to buy some luminous paint. I initially came across this tin. Although it was high vis, I decided I would try it by putting some on some shiny cardboard to see A, how quickly it dried, and B, was it actually luminous. Although high vis, it didn't glow in the darkness after it had been subjected to a substantial blast of light from a high power torch. Reluctantly, I decided that this was not for me and continued the search. Subsequently, I bought this bottle of paint from the same manufacturer. Again, I painted it out onto some shiny cardboard and waited. Once it was dry, I put it under the torch, turned the lights out, and it did glow. It was fluorescent. Because of its delicate nature, I decided to leave the compass needle to last, even though it could be held in position by depressing the button which stopped it moving when the case was closed. This was a safety feature which protected the compass needle during rough handling and transport. Initially, I painted over the existing luminous marks. However, this didn't work as the paint was absorbed, but it did not retain its luminosity. So therefore, I decided the existing marks would have to be removed. I began the repainting by moving the luminous mark on the sighting line of the mirror. I then painted over it by hand. This proved to be unsuitable. I decided to put some tape on either side of the mark and paint over it roughly, and then remove the tape when the paint was dry. This I did, but it took the paint with it. So I decided to put the tape down again, paint, and then remove the tape straight away. The result was a well-defined, clearly marked line. It did take a little bit of force and effort to get rid of the old luminous paint from the direction of travel arrow and the bezel. Soon it was time to work on the compass needle itself. The compass needle was fixed in position using the clamp, and it was supported underneath by a number of sheets of paper. Once it was firmly fixed, the luminous paint was removed quite easily and quite quickly. Now it was time to apply sufficient coats of paint to build up an adequate coverage that would actually accept light and glow in the dark. This took time, as the coats of paint had to be allowed to dry before another one was applied. Eventually, enough even coats had been applied. When tested, everything that needed to glow in the dark did. So the compass was reassembled. I now have a fully functioning luminous compass that's ready for use in the field. The night glow paint does work as this illustration shows, although it does underplay the amount of light that is given off. The luminous paint works, and it works well. The only question is, how long will it work? I expect years rather than months, but only time will tell. The purists may complain about refurbishing this World War II compass, but I'm happy. I've got a compass that I can use out there when I'm training. It will serve me well, and it does make sense to refurbish old compasses into new. Thank you for watching, and hopefully commenting and subscribing.